Very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is our Tuesday class, 4th November 2025. You try, okay, come back again. Now mine is okay. Today we have less physical participants. Well, most of them has gone for spiritual trip in this Hsuan. So at least physically we got 7 here, not so bad. Okay, so as usual we will be continuing our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra. So let us compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya, then mindfully we shall commence the Puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。阿拉汉萨玛萨布多巴嘎哇，布当巴嘎วันตัง阿比瓦提米。Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjhapama veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Ganna sarappaditena dippena tamadang sina Ti loka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang ganda sambarayutena duppena hang sukang hina pujaye pujaniyang tang puja bhajana muttamang vanna ganda gunopetang etang kusuma santatin pujayami nunindasa siri pada sarorohe pujemi bedang kusumena nena punnena matena cha hotu mokhang pupang milayati yata idang me kayo tata yati vinassa bhavang adivase tuno bhante paniyang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang adivase tuno bhante pale parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang adivase tuno bhante bojanang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang. Okay, now we will chant our puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of these puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruit as soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits, born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculty of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. Sharing and transfer of merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Bedang pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. The main intent and purpose of awareness-based meditation is to develop the heedful mind, which is the pure awareness nature within. Once you are heedful without thought, the pure awareness is there. Because without thought you are already mindful or aware. And when this mindfulness stabilizes, you become ever mindful. Then when you use it to meditate, you become constantly meditative. So ever mindful, constantly meditative, these two are the unique quality of heedfulness. So when you have this heedfulness developed, you are destined for enlightenment. As per Dhammapada verse 21, 22 and 23, on the first three Apamada Vaga, means the stanza on heedfulness. Okay, in order to help us develop this stability of pure awareness within, I normally recommend the four support for us to develop it. And this is a lot easier than all the other so-called skillful means that normal people use. But there is no harm if you are familiar with the method, technique, or skillful means that can help you develop the stability or sati or mindfulness. You can also use them. But ultimately, you go back to the four support. Because the key support for developing this inner awareness is, number one, relax. When you are able to relax completely, body and mind, your mind is at ease, free of thinking and thought process, where it is just in a relaxed state. Then when you are relaxed, your mind has no thinking, nothing. But most people cannot be in that state because they don't have the fine spiritual faculty that can develop the heedful mind. So this lack of spiritual faculty result in the arising of the opposite five spiritual mental hindrance. It's not a spiritual faculty, it's mental hindrance. So this five mental hindrance will make living being heedless, think a lot, lost in thought. That's why they cannot meditate. So what we do is, when we just relax, we don't think. Then in order to help you stabilize the awareness, you just maintain that awareness within. After you relax, you allow your mind to be. Your natural state is the awareness before the arising of thought, before the arising of sankhara activity or the thinking process. So when you can just relax, maintain awareness, you actually can develop the inner awareness. Then you continue to let it be. Whatever arises, just allow it to be. So don't try to know, don't try to think, don't try to do anything. Because the trying to meditate, do or know is the thought. The thought, when it's active, it will do things. But when there is no thought, the mind cannot arise. Then the awareness state, which is the primordial mind, the true mind, the silent mind, before the stirring or activity of thinking, before the content of consciousness come in, conditioned by our views, opinion, conditioning and belief system. That one, we have to develop the understanding to stay aware. That's why relax, maintain awareness, then stabilize the awareness. If you just do that, your mind will settle down. Then, if you are patient enough, you can continue to maintain awareness. Means whatever arises, just away, finish. Don't continue. Don't develop the heedless thinking, or what we call proliferation of thought process. Do not even try to know or do anything. Just maintain the awareness. Then, as a human being, we have the sixth sense basis within our physical body. And these are the basis of arising of consciousness. We can become conscious of what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactile feel, see and think. These are the six types of sense door activity that will manifest when the sense data impinges upon their respective six sense door. So whatever happens, just aware. Aware means don't try to know, don't try to continue with the thinking, don't try to react or respond to all this sense experience. So the stirring of the mind, the reaction of the mind, they come from our deluded thought. When we have this wisdom, the Dhamma within, we will not follow. We will just develop the inner awareness to be aware, finish. That's why relax, maintain awareness, then allow the mind to be whatever arises, aware, finish. Don't continue. Then the mind will gradually slow down, and settle down on its own. Then it will return to its original state of tranquility and stillness. And this is your true mind. When you can realize the inner tranquility and stillness of mind, which means your inner awareness has stabilized. And that is the beginning of real meditation. Ability to be with that silent mind, which is the inner awareness or mindfulness. That is sati. And when your sati stabilizes, you will be in that tranquil state without thought. So this meditative mind is your silent mind, which is tranquil, stillness, clarity, and peaceful. That's why the first three support can help. Then, after you have developed the ability to stabilize the inner awareness, you can move on to do the fourth support, which is trust, T-R-U-S-T. Trust your inner nature to develop the meditative movement within. To do that, you can just silence your mind completely and stay at the heart area. Then allow your awareness to detect whatever it can detect. It can be a heartbeat, or any pulsation, or any vibration within your heart area. Whenever it arises, just aware. Stay, be with it. Then it will become very quiet, very still. Then when you can do that without thinking, the stability of inner awareness will develop on its own. Then from there onward, you will be able to experience for the first time in your life your true mind arising. The true mind, which is just pure awareness within, without thought, is very beautiful. Then you will experience the inner peace, the inner calmness, the tranquility of mind, and the stillness of mind. Maintain that one. Whenever something arises within the sixth sense basis, just allow it to arise, away, finish. Then this mind will develop its own stability until the habitual thinking, reaction of mind, and the stirring of the mind cease to be. When that happens, your inner awareness will develop and you will become very different. Then you can understand many things on your own. Where that is the true mind, the silent mind, your meditative mind. Then you silently allow it to be. And this one can meditate. It can see things as they are. It can insight into phenomena. And it can awaken. So the silent mind, observing the reality which is what is, silent observation of what is the real meditation. Okay, with that, I will set the alarm for 30 minutes so that you all can continue your awareness-based meditation. You all can slowly, mindfully come out of your meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind states that you need to cultivate the daily mindfulness, to stabilize your inner awareness while living life, so that you can be heedful in the midst of life. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamokang Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijacarana Sampanno Sugato Lokavido Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Kaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko Pachyatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Yupatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala เอสาภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุเนโยปาหุเนโยดักเกเนโยอัญญาลิการานิโยอนุตรังปุญญังเกตังโลกาสาติสาธุสาธุสาธุ So the next part of the sutta say, in this house there is not a single thing worth enjoying. So the commentaries. This one refers to the burning house of the three rhymes, our essential rhyme, form rhyme, and the formless rhyme. These are the 31 planes of existence. So, according to the Buddha, there is not a single thing worth being joyful about. But yet, all these children, all deluded living beings, engrossed in their play and inattentive to his warning. So the commentary continue. It said the children were so absorbed in their play that they didn't care about anything. Somewhat like people in a drunken stupor, bound by ignorance. We people in the three rhymes have forgotten everything. We have forgotten to bring forth the Bodhi resolve and cultivate the path to awakening. So this one is very important for cultivator of the way, especially those who take the Bodhisattva way. You must not forget to bring forth the Bodhi mind, the Bodhi resolve, which is needed for us to cultivate the Bodhisattva way until full awakening. So, cultivate the path to awakening using the Bodhi mind is very important. And according to the Buddha, he said many of those living beings, they don't even listen to the Buddha's teaching. Then timely teaching, okay. So this part is the teaching itself, opening the five eyes. There are people in this world who do not cultivate and do not believe in the Buddha at all. Today, Guo Xiang told me that when his parents came to San Francisco, they were very upset when they saw that he had burned incense on his arm. The note, read the note 41. Making superficial scars by burning small pieces of incense on various parts of the body is a Mahayana Buddhist devotional practice with scriptural basis in the Bodhisattva path, in the Brahmanet Sutta, as well as in chapter 32 of the Dhamma Sutta, the account of the Medicine King's past life. Bodhisattva, Medicine King's past life. So this one is just to explain what they do. They told him that he must be really confused. So this type of misconception, normally for people who don't have the understanding, they may comment where they don't understand. Okay, I read on. Imagine that burning incense as an offering to the Buddha is a good thing, but they were upset by it, thinking that their son must have been under the influence of drug to burn incense on his arm, despite the pain. They thought it was a terrible thing. So I said to him, before, when you were doing terrible things, they thought you were doing something wonderful. Now that you are doing the most wonderful thing, they think you are doing something terrible. On what do people base their judgments on. If you want to cultivate, your parent may think it's terrible. If you do good deeds, your friend may judge you and think that you are bad. So this one is just Master Shenhua's way of humor. But if we were to reflect when we were young, during our younger days, or when we enter society, society is always the opposite of what the truth is. Because for most of us, I think we have experienced when we were young, especially, we are naive, we are quite, I should say, lack understanding and experience in life. So what we normally do, people will find is very odd. It's like, you are not normal. If you are very studious, you study a lot and you seldom come out and mix around, and people will point finger and say something. They even comment. And for us Chinese, I think in Mandarin, they got this word, 树太子, means what? Bookworm. Bookworm. But you go out and have fun and do all those nonsense. Actually, when we were young, we thought that it's fun and it's adventurous. But when we grew up, then we realized actually there was a lot of foolish act, because we don't understand life, we don't value life. We just do things out of what we call excitement, fun. And because everybody do, we also do. And a lot of these things, when we go through, actually they were foolish things. But when you try to develop wholesomeness, it's not easy, because as a kid, we were never taught to develop wholesomeness, to develop all the good virtue like kindness, to be helpful, to be caring, to have love, then not to steal, not to deceive, not to cheat, to keep the precepts, all things. All this to us is like very alien. Because we grew up in that type of society, the environment and all those things. So life is just the way it is. When society perceives you as useless or whatever, not normal, it doesn't mean that you are actually destined to fail. But when we look back in life, actually, the one that make it, most of them couldn't really imagine that this classmate of ours or this kid within our village can one day become so successful, so famous, and so like a prodigal, or do very well in life and all those things. Yeah. For me, I think I was quite lucky, because in a way, I say lucky because it was a blessing in disguise. My father wanted to send me to English school, but he has a very good intent, and he makes sure I go to the best English school in my hometown. So the first 2 years, because I totally didn't understand English, my whole village, nobody speak English. So I was last in the class, standard 1, standard 2, second last in the class. But then, I was fortunate because I was sent to the best school. Then as I progressed, standard 3 onward, I developed the understanding of the language. Then I start to do very well. Then I went and joined the special class. Our special school, the school, you can do your primary education instead of 6 years, in 4 years. Standard 1 to standard 3, you can skip 1 year one. They say 跳班. So standard 4, actually, I supposed to go to the normal class, but my result in standard 3 was so good. They didn't promote me, they put me to the special class, for special. I joined the kid that got promoted on. I was there. Then after that, I started to learn on my own, and I become quite good. Then when I look back at all my classmates, I really, even myself, I can never imagine that one day I will become what I am right now, civil engineer or whatever. Because in my hometown, to pass Form 3 is very rare. It's like really rare. Most of them standard 6 drop out. Form 3, you can pass. It's a hoo-ha in the village already. But I did all the way until uni. Then I look back at a lot of my classmates. Some were very naughty, and some were also very studious, study a lot and all those things. But then those who study a lot, because the parents were teachers, they try to spoon feed them. And in the primary school education, they always top the class on first, second, third. But as they proceed to standard 5, standard 6, they still can do well. But when they go to Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, they start to deteriorate, because the education has evolved, especially Form 4, where there is no such thing as you can memorize and do well. We are no more multiple choice question or this thing. So what happened was in Form 4, like geography and a lot of other subjects, science, maths, you need to have understanding to do well. So during that time, they actually lag behind and they cannot cope. Then they got problem. But then some, you look at them very naughty, play a lot, like they don't study, but they do very well during the exam. And there were a few, I remember, before exam, Form 5 exam on, they will go and see film show or cinema show. I said, wow, you got time to go cinema show? I said, exam only ma. Then one of them told me, relax lah. I said, why study so hard? But they did well. Then there are some, you will never know that they can become doctor. No? In my class, a lot of doctor, no? But engineer only one, civil one. The rest, of course, electrical, there are a few. And because it was the best school, and most of them actually did well in their academic. Even those who didn't manage to enter uni, they go overseas, and they also make it. And most of them are at least school teachers, but most of them are professionals. Some become lawyers, end up accountants, medicine a lot. Then, of course, engineering, got a few. Those who go overseas, come back on her, got quite a number. So all this end up the way it is. So you cannot judge based on what they do. So what I'm trying to explain to you is society always judge. Then they will actually label you as no more hope really. Like write you off straight away. But the one that is being written off turned out to be the finally did very well. So all these are possible. Okay, we go back to the notes. So here is more about the misconception of how this Guo Xiang, how he actually follow the Xuanhua's tradition. I think it's quite common for my tradition. Some their head, they use the incense to make the night holo for ordination and all those things. And this one I don't know why he go and do it on his arms, body and all those things. But for those who don't understand, they can be horrified, especially those parents who don't have any understanding of these practices. Okay, we read on that. What is more, Guo Xiang told Guo Qian that he had written multiple letters to their mutual friend, inviting him to come back to the monastery. But the friend stopped writing back. Why did he act like that? It was because last year, a woman had come to the monastery for a few days and started saying that the abbot, which is Xuanhua, was ignorant and could not teach Buddhism. Then this friend, hearing her, came to believe that all of you, Xuanhua's disciple, were confused, studying with a person who knows nothing. He thought this was terrible, so he refused to come, even though my disciple wrote many letters to him. First of all, there was a special condition, an invisible demonic influence that kept him from learning Buddhism, and it made him criticize studying Buddhism as a bad idea. Think of it. How could that woman know after a 2-day visit whether I am qualified to teach or not? On the other hand, one might think she was extremely intelligent and had opened the heavenly eye. How else could she see that I am unqualified to teach? She did not want that person to get fooled. However, that person's 2 foolish friends had stayed here. Guo Qian has even become a monk. If I were an idiot, what could he expect to learn by becoming my monastic disciple? He wouldn't be able to learn anything. Recently, Guo, by the way, if you become the disciple of Buddha, Master Xuanhua, your name, the middle name, he will change to Guo. That's why all his disciples are Guo. For me, Guo Kun. But my name is Zhang Jian Kun. That's how the center name changed. So all those who take refuge under him, like my wife, they got Guo in between, my daughter also, my son also. So this Guo is to distinguish his lineage of disciple. That generation on is all Guo. So recently Guo had a little experience in response to his cultivation. He sometimes sees everything vibrating. Everything is in fact vibrating, just like dust. When the sunlight shines through the window, you can see motes of dust dancing in the air, but they are invisible without the sunlight. Now, why does he see everything in motion, just like the sunlight shining in? The light of his wisdom is about to unfold. Therefore, he sees everything. He sees that everything is like moving. Even the table, chair, and the whole house are in motion. Those are 3-dimensional objects in motion. It's just like when you are watching a 3D movie. The object in the movie will walk right in front of you. This is like him seeing the motes dancing in the sunlight. Do you understand now? This experience will happen to you when you are about to open your five eyes. So this one is called the psychic ability, the five eyes, San Thông. Not only will you have this experience, you may also at one point not be able to see anything, as if you were totally blind. Just before the opening of the five eyes, a special chemical or biological transformation takes place. At this point, if you become attached to it, like it or dislike it, want it or not want it, you will be in danger of entering a demonic state. Means they call demons actually, but it's not a demon. It's actually your mind state is demonic, and they call it Mara. So this demonic state may manifest. These are the state one encounters when one's eyes are about to open. In your five eyes, if your five eyes had opened, they might not remain open. You must continue to cultivate goodness to keep them open. If you fail to maintain good cultivation, you can lose the capability of the five eyes, especially if you look at improper thing or meddle with others' business. If you do unethical deeds, you could lose them as well. These are like psychic ability. In fact, this Devadatta during the Buddha's time, he actually has the jhanas. Then he got this psychic ability. I think he also has the five eyes open. They call it the psychic ability. But later on, he become like very arrogant. Then he wants to even challenge the Buddha and try to introduce very strict practices like going compulsory. You must eat vegetarian and other things. Then he also did a lot of Sikhism, causing the monastic to split and a lot of what they call division among the monastic. He wants to convince the Buddha, he couldn't. Then he convinced the group that follow him and caused a Sikhism. Then they split. But while he was doing all this, he was able to convince the disciple, because a lot of them follow him. They saw him got psychic ability. But then he became very miserable after a while. He did a lot of wrong things. And he lost his ability to be in that psychic ability. Then he also lost his ability to enter jhana. That's why he got into a lot of trouble. Then finally, the karmic from the past, together with that life, they actually came in and he suffered a terrible death. A lot of these are karmically related conditions from the past, causes and conditions that manifest. So unless you have that cultivation, you cannot understand. You cannot really comprehend what is going on. Anyway, I read on. Therefore, to maintain such a state requires that you practice in a down-to-earth manner. You should not mind other people's business, taking a look at this and that. Even after you open your five eyes, you should not be inquisitive about other people's business, peeping here to see what your neighbor are doing, and so on. It's easy to lose the five eyes if you do that. Usually, people who open their five eyes can see everything very clearly in the beginning, but later on they might not see as clearly or might not see anything at all. I have seen this happen to many people. So pay special attention to this. Even if you attain this state, it is imperative that you maintain your power of concentration. If the power of concentration becomes full and perfect, you will give rise to the power of wisdom. Develop genuine wisdom is what really counts. So Alicia also knows, finally is wisdom free, not all the psychic ability. But this one is because you cannot really fault him, because Shenhua, he got a vow in the early days. Every life he arises, he vowed to have, he add in one, the 6 spiritual penetration, he called it. Means the 6 psychic ability plus the 6 spiritual penetration, which is to be enlightened. So in his vow, I remember in the early days, I saw he put it in there. He believed in that. But everyone is different. So as far as cultivation is concerned, you actually, preferably, my advice is, don't go into that field, psychic field. If you can avoid, you just avoid. But if it comes by naturally, don't worry. Sometimes it's a byproduct, because you have done it in the past. So in fact, a lot of my early, the first batch one, those Kayamita that came to me, a lot of them have jhana on. They did jhana before. But some, because they fall in love with jhana, they really hold on to it. They believe there is power. That is what they need. And they have a lot of concentration, energy. Then they push the energy up and other things. So during the early days, those type of practices were very popular, and people regard it as very special meditative achievement. But later on, when people start to develop the real understanding, they came to realize mindfulness is very important. Heedfulness is very important. Awakening, realizing the Dhamma is more important. Anyway, whatever that arises, the key understanding is, do not deviate. Deviate means don't deviate from the main instruction to develop heedfulness. Whatever you do, if you don't develop heedfulness, you will end up in energy field, one-pointedness, concentration, samatha, meditation. Okay, we move on to the next part. Inattentive to my warning means living beings in this world do not follow the Buddha's teaching, and so they will be injured in the 3 rhyme. So this 3 rhyme, actually everything is burning, like the fire sermon. That's why injured in the fire. In the future, they may all be burned by the great fire. Then he thought of a way to help them through skillful means. Commentaries. Then the Buddha thought of a way to employ expedient Dhamma or skillful means to help them. What is a skillful means? It's an expedient device or clever device. Since it would not work to try teaching them with the great vehicle teaching or supreme vehicle teaching, the supreme great vehicle Buddha Dhamma, the Buddha decided to teach them the lesser vehicle Dhamma to teach living beings. Means he teach the Theravada tradition teaching, the sainthood way, leading to solitary Buddha, or they call it the particular Buddha lineage. Okay, next part. He said to the children, I have all kinds of exquisite plating, 5 cards wonderful by jewels, including sheep card, deer card, and the grey ox card. They are right outside the door. Children, come out of the house, for I have fashioned these cards just for you. You may play with them in whatever way you wish. Commentary. The 12 line of verse represent the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths, the Dhamma wheel. This is the basic Theravada tradition teaching. The Four Noble Truths and its 3 turnings. These are the essence of the Buddha's teaching. And these are the provisional teaching. You need this teaching to go through sainthood awakening, the realization of Sotapanaship, Sakadagamiship, Anagami, and finally Arahantaship. So the sutta continues. He said to the children, I have all kinds of exquisite plating, fine cut, wonderful by jewel, etc. So this 4 line represents the hortative turning. The lines including sheep cut, deer cut, and great ox cut. These are right outside the door, represent the indicative turning. The line, children, come out of the house is again hortative turning. The line, for I have fashioned this card just for you, implies that the Buddha has realized Buddhahood. You may play with them in whatever way you wish. This represents the evidential turning, the indicative turning, the hortative turning, the evidential turning, makes up the 3 turnings of the Dhamma wheel concerning the 4 Noble Truths. So these 4 Noble Truths and its 3 turnings, they are the essence of the Buddha's teaching. The elder probably said to all these children, I have all kinds of exquisite plating. You are having so much fun now, but I have some toys that are much more fun than the one you are playing with. Hurry up and come out. I have the most valuable and fun things. What are they? They are the best cards. Some of them are drawn by sheep, others are drawn by deer, and some, see how wonderful they are. They are different from the other playthings you have had. There are also great ox cart outside the door right now. So children, hurry up and come out. Do not hang around in that house. It is not that much fun anyway. I have the best toy. I have had many sheep carts, deer cart, and ox cart made for you. So these also represent the 3 types of vehicle. The sainthood way, the Pachika vehicle, then what they call Bodhisattva way. They are the finest toys, and you can play with them in any way you wish. You can sit in them and go wherever you like. So this is the sutta's way of putting it. The provisional teaching, or the skillful devices, or what they call expedient devices, skillful means to help bring about the causes and conditions for these so-called deluded and heedless living beings to actually have the condition to receive his teaching. Okay, we go on to the next part of the sutta. When the children heard him speak about cards such as this, they immediately raced out in a mad scramble to open ground, leaving misery and peril behind. So it's like you want to escape from the 3 rhyme, the suffering rhyme, or we call it the 31 plane of existence, the rhyme of sensual desire, the form rhyme and the formless rhyme, where ultimately there is no hope of awakening enlightenment, liberation from birth and death. So this skillful means actually bring forth the causes and conditions for them to leave behind all the potential suffering and misery. Here they use miseries and peril, danger behind. We go on to the commentaries. The children represents all living beings. Whenever children are mentioned later on in the text, they represent us, living beings. Heart represents the wisdom attained through listening to the exposition of the Dhamma. So this one is the first turning, hearing of the sutta. Here. Then cards such as this signify the wonderful Dhamma of the great vehicle, which provides the greatest fun and delight. Children like to play. If you give them fun toy, they will not cry. The children all started running outside to get the card. Raise out represent the wisdom attained through contemplation on the principles of the Dhamma. This is the second turning. And the wisdom attained through practice is the third turning. So here, in Pali, under the Theravada tradition's teaching, the first turning is called Suttamaya Panya, wisdom born of hearing the sutta, the discourse of the Buddha. Then second turning is contemplation and reflection on the Four Noble Truths, the Dhamma. And this second turning is contemplative wisdom. They give rise to what we call a type of wisdom that is more stable. So in Pali it's called Cinta Maya Panya. Then finally, the one that is attained or realized through practice, through putting the Dhamma into cultivation, following the meditative training as taught by the Buddha, Bhavana. So that one is called Bhavana Maya Panya. Bhavana is the meditative training. So that is the third turning. And the third turning is very penetrative. It's always the direct seeing. Seeing things as they are, insight into phenomena, realizing the universal characteristics. So in a mad scramble shows everyone's vigor in cultivating the three turnings, methods associated with the three kinds of wisdom. So the three kinds of wisdom are attained through listening, contemplation, and practice. So, like I explained just now, the first type of wisdom is Suttamaya Panya, wisdom born of constantly hearing the true teaching of the Buddha or the Dhamma. That's why our 10th step of the Avijja Sutta, to reverse the avijja, we have to have step 1, Kayamitas, Dhamma friends. So when you have Dhamma friends, you will have opportunity to listen to the true Dhamma. So the second step is the first, second and third turning wisdom. The first turning wisdom. Opportunity to listen to the true Dhamma. So that condition is very important. Then when you listen to the true Dhamma, especially the first turning, it will impact upon you. Then it will give you faith. That's why the third step is faith in the Buddha and his teaching. Of course, the triple gem, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Then after that, you develop the initial wisdom, Yoniso Manasikara, which is step 4. So step 4 can come from either the first turning, or the second turning, or the third turning. And sometimes it can be a combination of first, second, and third turning. So these three are very important foundation for cultivation. First turning, second turning, and third turning. Okay, I read on. They race out to open ground, leaving misery and peril behind. So open ground refers to the position beyond study, means they are at least the Arahant state. The fourth stage of Arahantship means you have liberated your mind, developed complete wisdom to sever the 10 fetters that bind living being to samsara. Only when one reaches the position beyond study in Pali is called asika. Those that are still under study are called sikas. Beyond study does end birth and death. I read again. Only when one reaches the position beyond study does one end birth and death. Although the physical birth and death resulting from karmic condition is ended, the cognitive birth and death resulting from the fluctuation of thought still remain. This one is very true. This one you must pay attention. Sometimes the mind call it outflow. So when you cultivate the sainthood way, after you have realized the fourth stage of sainthood, which is the arahantship, then you end birth and death. That is the segmented birth and death. Following the law of karma, you will not die with ignorance, because you are rooted out ignorant. Then there is no avijja paccaya sankhara. Rebirth consciousness cannot arise at the moment of death. That's why for Arahant, they have ended birth and death of the segmented life. They use the word segmented life. Means every time we are born into this universe or existential world, this is one segment of our coming. So like this life, you call this brother Theo, this is my nature's this segment. Then in the future it can come in other form. Then the next segment. But every year you are living being, you have gone through this birth and death for actually limitless birth and death. It may be for million aeons and aeons of birth and death. And of all these segments, which one is you? None of them are you. They are only unique to your karmic nature. They are connected to your karmic nature. That's why all this summation form your karmic nature. So understanding this is very important. But as far as the Mahayana teaching, which is very true, you all have to understand. Well, after 1989, when I gone through all this, I developed the understanding of what they meant. So here is stated very clearly. Only when one reaches the position beyond study does one end birth and death. Then, although the physical birth and death of the segmented life resulting from karmic conditioning is ended. You remember? No more karmic rebirth, born of ignorance. But the cognitive birth and death resulting from fluctuation of thought still remain. You know what is that? The birth and death of your mundane thinking, the mundane mind. It hasn't collapsed. That's why that one still arise and pass away. That is what they call outflow. You have not completely ceased. Means not until your mundane mind collapse, the birth and death of the thought process, we call it the birth and death of the Shenhua used the word fluctuation of the thought. It means the arising and passing away of the mundane thought process, the mundane mind. That one is still very active even at the Arahant stage. But because they are Arahant, although this thought move and pass away, but there is no more avijja because they have rooted out ignorance. So this fluctuation of thought means the outflow. Sometimes they call it the realization of Nibbana that the Arahant gone through. They call it the conjure city. It's like not the real Nibbana realization. It's like a city conjure up. But sometimes you cannot blame them for using those words. And a lot of Theravada tradition, I remember in the early days, when they heard this, they really become very agitated. They cannot accept. They said, what you mean? Arahant already no more perfect there, and the perfect there. But what they are trying to explain to you is actually the sainthood way compared to the supreme vehicle way or the bodhisattva way. The two are worlds apart. And the realization and the cultivation is so different. One is so extensive and so in-depth and so complete. That's why there is no comparison. But don't worry, don't go and argue over all this. You can never understand until you realize it, until you have gone through the cultivation and the practice. So, as long as you can even realize the sainthood way is already good enough. Because even the first stage of sainthood, maximum 3 more life. 7 more life. You come back to the sanctuary. They call it the 7 rebirth in the sanctuary maximum. Once you hit Sakadagami, second stage of sainthood, you only come back once. They call it the once returner. But once you hit Anagami, you are called a non-returner. You don't take birth back into the sanctuary. You will end up in the Brahmarine, the pure abode there. So the sainthood way is already actually not bad. Because once you realize that one, you're no more ignorant, no more avijja, and a lot of the fetters already severed, your suffering has become very much less. And the sainthood way guarantee arahantaship within not many rebirths. So all this is more important than going to argue over something you cannot understand. Just because you want to be right, you have certain views and opinion of things. So all this, no point. Okay, we go on. Oh, I had to end already. Almost finishing. Good. So I explained that one already. Okay. So the fluctuation of thought means the mundane mind is still there, but no more problem because you no more avijja already. But if you continue the fourth support and locate the gateway to your nature, then the mundane mind will cease. How long it takes to cease depends. For my case, I remember it was about 9 months. From the time I realized the cessation, I connect. Then when I located the gateway, from the time I locate the gateway until the transformation within, it was about the total of 9 months, my mundane mind collapsed. Then the outflow no more. It's like I don't have this gross mundane mind anymore. The vibration is too gross to sustain its existence. That's why it finally collapsed. So all this, as you cultivate, you understand. That's why that day, my nature rejoiced when Alicia was trying to explain how she also beginning to realize something is happening. I think sooner or later, not that long, it will lead to the collapse. Okay. Then I read on the last sentence. Once they arrive in the open ground, means Arahant beyond, they left behind suffering and misery, which is true. This means they have realized the fourth stage of Arahantaship, the position which is beyond study. Yeah. So this is very important. Okay, we stop here with this page. Then we have our toilet break. So now we come back to our second session. So like I told earlier on, Chan and Wai Fan, if today the physical class is less people, we are only 7 of us. Most of them are in China, Juhasan on spiritual trip. And I was glad just now I saw Cindy and Mun Yuen. So Mun Yuen, you can hear me or not?
Radio.
Hello.
Ah.
Wow, loud and clear, huh? Sadhu. So how are you all doing down there?
We are good. We are very good.
Sadhu. Oh, very good. Later on, you all can share, huh?
Yes, we can share. Actually, tomorrow, Radio, we are moving down to Nanjing already.
The 4 days there finished.
Yeah, so fast.
Very fast, huh? So it must be good experience. That's why very good. Sadhu.
Yeah,
We all rejoice for you too.
Yeah, thank you, Radio. Thank you for your prayers for us. The day last week. Yeah. So the weather is good. There's no rain. And Cindy was saying that we are very blessed because I think 1 week before we were told that there was slight snowing here, very slight. And then based on the weather forecast, we are leaving tomorrow, right? So a day after we leave, it will be raining here.
It's always like that one. I also don't know why. Sometimes it's nature's condition. Last time I remember our spiritual tree also like that. Then the Xinjiang one was the most, actually, you wouldn't really believe. We were there, everything was nice, good weather, everything. Then the day we left, the next morning we heard on the news and also through the phone, we saw the video. The whole place where we were there, snow until the bus all cannot come out. Then they got problem with the hotel because a lot of them were trapped. Then there were not enough hotel, but the new one come in, they also have made the booking, and the old one hasn't gone out, and the traffic was in a mess. So these are nature's conditions. So just now, did you hear the whole sharing, Maya?
Not the whole sharing. I think maybe I came in about near to 9 o'clock.
Still okay, because 9 o'clock we just started. We just finished meditation, then our chanting, I remember, the invocation, the Devas. We finished at about 9 o'clock, Anyway, it's good. Today one is about the three turnings of the Four Noble Truths. Then the 3 cuts, the provisional teaching, the sainthood way, or the sound hearer, skillful means cultivation, followed by the Pajika Buddha, solitary Buddha type of cultivation, then the supreme vehicle or Bodhisattva way cultivation. Then we also go through the 3 turnings, Suttamaya Panya, the 3 corresponding wisdom that come with the 3 turning. So Suttamaya Panya is about the hearing of the Dhamma. Then second turning is reflection, contemplation, Chintamaya Panya, the second type of wisdom, born of constant contemplation, reflection, and inquiry on the teaching. Then the third turning is, of course, the meditative training, Bhavana Maya Panya. So today one cover actually quite good, quite complete. Then we also have the Arahantaship. Those who are beyond study means you have realized Arahanta and beyond. Those still under study are called Sikhas, the sainthood way. First stage of sainthood, second stage of sainthood. Then the best is when you realize Arahantaship, you actually realize the enlightenment to end the segmented body, birth and death, means the rebirth through avijja, the karmic process. Actually, you sever, you finish. You no need to come back as normal puthujjana, deluded living being. You come back as an enlightened being through the bodhisattva way. Then there are two steps actually when you become arahant most of the time, unless they do the supreme vehicle cultivation, they will still have outflow of thought. They call it the fluctuation of thought. Means the mundane mind, the thinking process has not ended. The birth and death of the successive thought manifested by the mundane thinking, the mundane mind, they hasn't severed it, they hasn't ended it. So that part is to be realized by those who cultivate the fourth support, the trust, TRUST. Once you go into that one, sooner or later, not long, as you develop the transformation from within, then the time will come for the process to happen. And when it happens, the cultivator will know. Because this mundane mind, which is at the brain there, the forehead there, like there is an energy, something moving up here. Then I remember initially it was quite long at the top there. Then there is like something moving. Then suddenly when it reached somewhere here between the eyebrow, suddenly one day it just dropped. Of course no sound, but the mundane mind inside there, like one layer of consciousness just dropped off. Then I was so amazed, how come like that? Suddenly I like no mind inside there, completely without anything. Then it's like, what happened inside is like very fine, and that nature just shine forth. And I was so amazed. That's like for 5 days I remember. I saw the transformation. Then I remember I telling my wife, I said, oh, like that one. Then later on only, I came to understand what all this is after I continue my cultivation for a while. Well, I have to learn how to use this new mind, understand? The first thing that struck me was, cannot be, I say, if without mind, how can I live life? Well, I can still have my senses, everything. I can still have the normal perception, everything, but no longer with the gross mundane mind. Well, by that time happened, I can see things as they are now. I don't have thought one. No. The mind like doesn't move one. No. Everything is just the way it is. No. Specific phenomena awareness, spacious awareness, nothing inside there. That's why after that, I slowly learn how to use that mind. And later on, I came to realize that is the supramundane mind. The mundane mind no more. That one is beyond the nature shine forth. And the pure awareness, the pure mind, become the new mind that I have to learn how to use and live with. Initially, during the early years of transformation, really, it completely like, it makes you so different, completely. Then you realize, how come like that one? Then how can living being understand all this? So this supramundane, the way it arises is so different. It's like you don't have mind inside there. And a lot of things has become so different. Then I start to see for the first time in my life, the universal characteristics, every moment, every instant, within life and existence. Truth is everywhere. Why can't living beings see? That's why I came out with that stanza of sharing. Truth is everywhere in the midst of life and existence. Means the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, they are everywhere in the midst of life. And for those who see, means after your Monday mind collapse, every moment, every instant you see them. They are there, very clearly exhibited. That's why for those who see, they always see. Not a single moment they cannot see. Because everything is so clear. But before that thing happens, it's like you are really trapped in a maze. Because that cocoon of mundane thought activity and thinking really cloud the living being's mind. That's why during the early years of cultivation, you need to have this daily mindfulness, very stable. Until the daily mindfulness completely remove the heedless thinking, the thought activity, then only you can understand what this true mind is all about, the silent mind. But that nature hasn't shined forth. That's why you will not be able to have the full understanding, but good enough for you to realize the sainthood way, to transform, and even become Arahant. That's why the Arahants still have outflow, the mundane thinking. Unless they took the Bodhisattva way, training, supreme vehicle, training and cultivation, then they will not be able to actually end birth and death of the mundane thinking, the thought activity. Oh, Alicia is there, Sadhu. How come he got message on he's not inside? Oh, the Zoom user is here. Oh, yeah, Alicia, welcome, yes. Oh, I didn't know Zoom user is Alicia, yeah. So he texts there, brother to Alicia here, Sadhu. Very good. Okay, who wants to come in now? Mun Yuen, you want to say something?
Just want to inform Radio that we do our puja every morning.
Oh, sadhu, very good. That's why that was very important. Then at night, before you all come back to hotel or rest, we must share merit, transfer merit, especially last night. Tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, we do that every night also.
Good.
And then, before that, we also have our own sharing among
wow, sadhu, very good. Yeah, very good. That's very good. Yeah.
So
my nature rejoices. Meant to be that trip.
So today, what I benefited is also matched with what Brother Teo was telling us earlier about the contemplative wisdom.
Wisdom, very important. That one.
So before this, I haven't really been doing that. Sometimes I do, but it doesn't seem to not skillful in doing that.
Correct. Because before you have that understanding, your contemplative wisdom cannot actually stabilize. But the moment you understand everything in life, within existence, come to you is Dhamma. Dhamma is everywhere, in the midst of life and existence. That's why our greatest teacher is life itself. And during that time, you will develop this contemplative wisdom very well. And it keep on arising. It's like throughout the day, you are contemplating Dhamma. And everything you encounter is Dhamma itself. That's why that phase of developing wisdom under the second turning become very different. But of course you have to go through first turning, then second turning, then develop some form of third turning wisdom. Then like this type of spiritual trip or retreat or whatever, your faith can be very strong. Then during that time, the causes and conditions will arise. Then when it arises, you will move through like this phase that you are experiencing based on what you described. Your second turning wisdom is coming to you and becoming more and more stable. In fact, this one earlier on, a lot of those Kayamita who progress, they have developed them, like Alicia, Puja, even to many extent, this Ingbi, they all, PG, they have developed it. And even Nancy also not bad, quite good. And a lot of this can actually arise. So sadhu to you, Mun Yuen.
Yeah, Brother Teo, now I understand better why contemplative wisdom is
contemplative wisdom. Yes.
Must go through that, then
then only it can stabilize. Otherwise, it cannot
yes,
stabilize. The contemplative wisdom will confirm to you what you have understood or no, and make it more clear. Then it becomes very stable. Then after that, you have a lot of joy. A lot of joy. Then you start to see, wow, Dhamma is everywhere, in the midst of life and existence. Then everything you can contemplate, whatever that arises within life, within existence, even relationship, then through your silent observation of the reality of what is, and Dhamma is everywhere, then you can sense people after that. You can roughly can sense and know a lot of things. That's why all this is the power of wisdom, mindfulness, cultivation. Very good. Sadhu.
I think I will use the 5 contemplation as my guide.
Yeah, the 5 daily contemplation. Yeah, very important.
Good evening, Brother Julius.
Good evening, Sadhu. 听说你们有很好的 experience and spiritual trip.
Yeah, Brother Ju, 首先我要讲一讲我们阿松帮助我很多，因为他就是很 mindful 很 careful 的在 guide 大家。So
he's very good.
Yes, he was.
A song is very good.
Then 也盖着大家，也一直在盖着大家，因为我们有做我们的 sharing on group sharing, so that 有什么他们不懂的，我叫他们提出来，然后我们大家商量，看下
很好
这样子白白来到，不懂要做干嘛这样子。so some pretty very structure， 教他们说把它丢讲。单了才做，对，所以我们整个 trip 很顺咯，就很 cooperative， 大家也 in one way or other， 大家都 benefit 咯，我觉得是很
Definitely， 你们那个 group 全部都是 very good Kayamitas。Yeah，the whole
group。Yeah。So even Ingbi also very how to say 他 full of joy， 他刚才跟我们讲，这 trip 他成为我们的家庭成员了。
Sadhu。
Actually, Radio 我很多的 gratitude， 因为我这一次来，就地藏王菩萨真的guide我很多。
哇，Sadhu。
对，因为我 throughout the trip， 我整个他的 mantra 都在。
Sadhu。
整个 trip 的 mantra 一直都在，就until 我们去到一个小天台是吧？我们去到小天台，然后他的我可以 feel 到那个 energy keep coming to my 那个 so called 那个 heart 那边。
Yeah, the nature there. Very good. Because that is what the great beings' nature, they are ever radiating for the cultivator of the way. Then for you, because 你跟地藏王菩萨很 strong affinity, that's why all this will come to be. And it's like you have been there before, but yet you want to go again. So it's meant to be. Then like I said, you all actually should now learn to actually express it out. The Dhamma discussion is very good among you all. Then express it out and share your understanding. And this will develop a second phase of cultivation. Because the more you share, the more you develop the understanding. Because through sharing, you learn. Other people also learn from you. And that phase is the most beautiful. That's why in the earlier classes, I think before you all went off for the China trip, I think the previous Tuesday class, I already explained to you all and mentioned to you all actually should start. A lot of you all are ready to start to express yourself, share and develop all this. Even the reporting, sharing, and sometimes you have the condition, you want to readjust our Dhamma class and sharing so that more of you all can come out and speak and share and develop the what they call experience or expressing your understanding for other people to benefit and learn. And at the same time, you all will develop that phase of progress, which is very important. So just now I also reminded Chan and Wai Fan, I said, since today physical class, not that many of us, we are left with 7, including me, Sui and my wife, minus this 4 only. So I say we do it informal. Like in the early day, we used to have informal class. So informal class, you know what we do? No one particular person ask questions, share. Everybody can ask. Everybody can actually develop like an informal gathering to share Dhamma, to develop the understanding, which is very useful. In future, I want to make the class more flexible so that more people can develop all this sharing and understanding. You continue, Alicia. Yeah.
因为其实我第一次来，我没有感觉到这么厉害，这一次真的很厉害，因为他一直跑进去，那个我可以感觉到那个 energy 一直 flow 进去，一直 flow。
你 just relax， 记得 relax， then maintain the faith。Then 他自己会开的，他自己会弄你的那个 heart 的 area，it will activate by itself。Then 有时候你越累越好了，no resistance everything just go in. Then when you are on the bus or the van that you all travel in, you just silent rest. Then it really go in. Then when you are back in the hotel also, have a good rest. Because especially when you are traveling, sometimes the energy that come from these great beings, they are very strong. And initially I remember, Song also went through, I remember, it becomes so strong, you know you are not in the position to take it like head on. No? That's why I had to relax and slow down. That's why relaxation is very important, and slow down. Then later on, after that phase passed, I realized after I have developed the ability to absorb and take in all those things, then I developed the ability to draw the understanding. Then the nature inside transform again and become very different. Then later on, that thing not only can take, no matter how strong, not only it can take, then I realized other cultivator, they draw from my nature. Then from that time onward, I realized like nothing inside there. No longer like the early day, because initially you have not developed the stability of understanding, and the nature's cultivation has not really moved and stabilized. It's not easy. This type of energy, it comes very strong. So what you are experiencing is very good. That's why I say spiritual trip. When the time comes, you all will know. And when you're supposed to go, you will go. In the early day, I remember, I also went in a small group, about 7 or 8 of us at any one time. Then only later on, when I came out to share, only I took more Kaya Metta. That's why we end up with 1 bus, 2 bus, and all those things. So it has its own causes and conditions behind. Sometimes the group need not be big. Sometimes the group initially when it started, I remember, is actually quite small. I remember 6, 7 or 8. But it's very beautiful. Then later on, as you develop the understanding, all this will manifest by itself. That's why I learned all this on my own. The sign will come, it will show it to you, and you will know whether to go or not to go, and whether it's meant to be or not. And all this will fall into place. That's why this type of wisdom way cultivation is very beautiful, very unique. And you continue, Alicia, 还有9 minutes.
Oh yeah, but 就其实我们的车一开进池州，我就 feel 到那个 energy，然后我就一直好像在半睡 ，you know like 好像有些啦就睡觉这样咯。
Yeah. Relax, silent
那边 keep on opening.
是咯你越 relax 越 silent 它越 activate 了
At times like brother 就讲咯，他的 energy 太 strong 哦。
不用紧的，你就放松 relax 给他做 trust
对，是的，因为 at times 他太 strong 了，我会 feel 到有点 tense 啊，然后我就知道，你要 brother 就讲过，你一定要 relax，
relax 是最重要的
对
That's why relaxation is the most important, the first support for awareness-based stabilization to bring about the support for you to be in that state of awareness. If you don't relax, means you are resisting. And when you are resisting, their energy find it very difficult to go in. Means you are not ready. Then they decide to just, since you cannot take it, you might as well rest and recuperate before you draw again. So it is intelligent on its own. That's why all this cannot be forced, but it will manifest on its own. And cultivator of the way will develop the understanding themselves. That's why for me it is like, technically I can tell you, technically I use the word, I got no teacher. As far as the cultivation progress is concerned, I did on my own. But I met with some guide and teacher who gave me certain pointers that are important. Like my last guide, he just showed me where the gateway is. That's all. The rest he cannot teach me. Where he is not really a Buddhist. But he has his pure awareness energy too. And he has his own understanding. Then of course we can communicate and talk. But when it comes to cultivation, our Dhamma way is different. So a lot of this understanding, like the Buddha said, the Dhamma is pacetang, can be realized by the wise Isha. So as you walk, all this happening and transformation, you will understand. Ultimately, you will understand it. Then initially you know, how come like that one? So beautiful, so unique. Like I always tell myself, like the Buddha immediately after the enlightenment underneath the Bodhi tree, after the full 7 week contemplated, then he didn't even have a thought to teach. He was contemplating. Then he had this understanding. How can anybody understand? Well, what he understood is so profound, so different from what is commonly accepted and like belief. That's why he will not do anything. That's why in the year 1989, after that, I also didn't do anything. Who can understand? What I went through was completely not written in the book, and nobody talked about it before. And I was ahead of time at that time. That's why until 2004, 15 years later, I came out. Still, a lot of people cannot understand. But what happened during those years, the transformation, is really, you are not a cultivator doing awareness base and walk this way, you can never comprehend. That's why the teaching and the cultivation is very unique one, and it's very beautiful one. Okay, you continue.
Brother Joe, because everything match what you have taught us. Actually,就第一天 I think first day 我们 arrive 就没有什么时间，我们就走一走然后第二天 after 第二天我就感觉到好像我已经受益了嘛，因为我一进来已经然后我就想着怎么样的去 benefit 那个众生嘛。So after that 我回到hotel我就 lie down， 我们很 tired actually.
Very good.
Lie down, then 我就suddenly this just appeared， 他讲我该怎么样的去让芸芸众生的去有 develop 这个 understanding。 哇，我就哭
萨度，
我就在那边哭了一阵子，哭得很然后我就那个慈悲咯，我觉得是那个
the compassion will arise.
对，然后我就then suddenly 就 understanding 说我们今晚上要做一个 Dhamma Sharing so that 我们大家如果有什么不明白的或者我受益的，我就跟他们说怎么样的去 develop 这个 understanding 的，所以我 share 一点，然后阿松就 share 他的很 structure 的教他们怎样的去去 develop 这个 understanding which 我真的是 full of joy because 我一回到房我就跟阿 PG 讲，哇很 structure 很好，我讲哇 I was really happy but anyway 我觉得 Brad 我们等我们回去可以 better Thursday 我在南京我也还是可以 log in 然后如果
no problem
好的，所以 Brad 感恩 Brad 的 teaching
感恩sadhu let us rejoice with all the good sharing and good condition. Sadhu. By the way, this coming Sunday Pamasuri not around, she will be in Shanghai visiting the daughters, so our Sunday class again have to cancel. But Thursday class is on, you can log in. So sadhu. Okay, another 2 more minutes. I think we use it to share merit and end.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the good sharing, Mun Yuen and you. Akasata cha bhumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasana etta vata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo devo asatakalena sasa sampati hetu cha fito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya. Sadhu. Okay, you can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Thank you. Sadhu.